I'm Kelly. I'm the COO of Sisters Rising Worldwide. And
Yes.
did you want to take the time to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Rosario Bobadilla. I'm a sister of St. Joseph of Carondelet, living here in St. Louis, Missouri. I born and grew up in Mexico.
Okay.
And I came to this city of St. Louis in 2002. Before I was in Texas, close to the border, Dallas. And then I joined the Sisters of St. Joseph. And I started living in Denver, Colorado, with a beautiful community in Denver. Yes.
Denver, Colorado is a lot different than St. Louis, Missouri.
A little bit.
So you reached out to us, one of the programs you've been working with the Hispanic community in St. Louis. So how long have you been working there, and what kind of drew you to be working with the community, and what kind of challenges were they facing?
Yeah. Since I came to this country, I started working with the Hispanic community because my superior asked me to come to the United States. I have a degree as a clinical psychologist. And then I saw the needs of the new immigrants or the people who were like in Texas for generations, and how difficult the life for them were, especially for the poor. Out of the big cities. And then I went to Colorado. I worked with the Hispanic community. I worked for Catholic charities, and I was giving retreats on weekends, et cetera, and helping parents. The parenting skills is very important for me to help parents to adjust to this new country. Mm-hmm. Yes, and then I moved here to St. Louis, and I'm here.
Is the Hispanic population very big in St. Louis?
Okay, when I came here in 2002, the Hispanic community was very, very small.
Okay.
I was on the streets, and I didn't see too many Hispanic. At the present, the population here in the Metroplex of St. Louis is about 35,000 people. Oh. And the thing is that Hispanic, when they're not, when they're undocumented, when they're not legal in this country, they try to be as invisible. I'm thinking there are more than that, because St. Louis, Missouri is a place which people from California, in California, the life is expensive.
Right.
They move here, they find jobs here. They have better places to live. The rent is not too high like in California. Mm-hmm. And people from New York, from different places are coming to St. Louis. Even though, I don't know if you know, but this is not good. We have the first place, St. Louis, Missouri is one of the most violent cities in the United States. But, there are more opportunities for the poor.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah, that's scary. I had no idea. I go there for soccer tournaments with my kids, but I did not know. One of the things I learned is you started, I hope I'm saying this right, Unidos en Cristos, but right? You started that organization?
Oh, okay. When I came here in 2002, the first church which I went to visit was Our Lady of Guadalupe. Mm-hmm. And then I found that it was a group of young couples. Mm-hmm. They call them new couples or whatever. And there were leaders, natural leaders. Uh-huh. And their children were like newborn to 10 years old.
Okay.
And then they invited me to meet them. And we started that group. But we didn't have any kind of name. We started, and then I started inviting people and giving workshops for parenting skills and helping people to develop their skills and on the parenting side. And then Unidos en Cristo started when the pandemic started.
So since 2020?
As a group, as a name. Okay, before in 2002, we started meeting and communicating, but not as a group. Like people invited me, and I was there, and then I invited them, some of them, to go to workshops or Gamaliel in order to be better leaders in the communities. But it was about in 2000, probably 17 to 18. And then, but they were working not as a group. When the pandemic started, I was working at a clinic, and I noticed that the needs of the poor, especially people who came to this country, they are not legal or are undocumented. They didn't have any kind of help. Some people, they have like a food stamps, or some people who were documented in this country, they receive a lot of help, but not new immigrants. And then I call one of the leaders, Brenda, who's like a fire, what do you call? Firecracker or something. And I said,
firecracker, yeah.
Brenda, what about you call the group? And then I have a special mission for you. The following day, she called people. There were 20 other leaders. And they started meeting, and we meet by Zoom. And then they went to the houses, even though during the pandemic, I asked them many times, please don't come to the houses. Please be keep the distance with people who are sick. They didn't listen to me. And then some of them, they took the people to the hospital. They brought medicine, they brought milk for the children, for the babies, food, etc. They were visiting them. And really they were working and working and working. And some of them, they said, I was close with some people who were infected with COVID, and I never infected.
Right.
And I said, yes, but you're not obedient. So you don't be close. And you were. And They said, okay, sister. But and then we started working with that group. And later, when the COVID was almost ended, because it's not ended yet, one of the leaders, Rosie, she was at her church. And she said, sister, you cannot imagine that a lot of preteens and teens, nobody pay attention to them. And they are joining gangs, they are by drugs, especially because their parents, they have sometimes 2 jobs, and who take care of the children. It's very, very sad. And she said, you can see that the need. We have to do something. And I'm telling you the truth, Kelly. Teenagers, for me, I try to keep away. Only therapy family, I can see them, but they take all my energy. And I'm like, yeah. Okay. And I said, do you think this is going to be, sister? She did it. She insisted. And then, okay. And we preparing a program. And they started, 8 of them, of the 20, they started working with teens, in preteens.
Right. So you kind of get forced into this to work this program where you're helping teens. And one of the things you had said is to prevent them from going into gangs, right? Because that's pretty much their only alternative, correct?
Yes. And to help them to finish high school or school, and really to support them because their parents are away.
Right.
And the worst thing is sometimes because children, they adjust to the environment, to the new environment very, very quickly.
Right.
Not adults. Children, They learn English and they refuse to speak Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And can you imagine a family? You are a mother.
Yeah.
The children, they don't speak your language, and you don't understand them.
Right.
I think it's very sad. It's very hard. And
do you
then
think do kids do that to be rebellious in some ways, or do they just do it because they're surviving because English is mostly spoken in the United States? Why do you think they do that?
Kelly, do you remember the Maslow pyramid?
Mm-hmm.
They try to fill up the basic things.
Right.
Food, shelter. Yeah. And it's hard. Then when the leaders, they approach them, they can see like adults taking care of them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's amazing. I love the fact that, well, you can tell us a little bit more about it. I'll ruin it a little bit, the surprise, but I do love, like I said, is how you bring the whole family in and you bring the teenagers, like you make them accountable too. So tell us a little bit more about the program that we helped you guys fund, because I find it very fascinating.
Okay. Your cousin, when she saw me suffering that I need money, and she's a doer. She me 100%. Okay. Right. We started that program, and the leaders are parents too.
Right.
And they said, "Sister, we need to help them to educate teenagers and parents together, because sometimes parents cannot understand the teenagers and teenagers don't understand the parents." And we started the program on Saturdays, twice a month, 9 to, we're supposed to finish at 1:00. But Hispanics, they never finish. They talk and talk. And I said, when they're going, and I'm waiting, and sometimes I had to cook, and I said, what? Okay. But we are like that. We talk too much sometimes. And then the teenagers started feeling like someone were supporting them, someone to trust them.
Right.
Even though the leaders, they share with me the stories that the teenagers were telling them or sharing with them. Very, very sad stories. And then I was more with the parents because my work is with adults. And then we started this program. The leaders, we meet twice a week in order to prepare everything and to have topic, materials, food, games for children and for adults.
Right.
Games for adults, no. Some kind of activities.
Right.
And then we saw the results, because sometimes parents, they take the children. And we noticed that the teenagers took the parents. They asked the parents to bring them here.
Wow.
Why? Because they found a group here. It seems to me like they felt secure. Yeah, because
one of the things I was always told when raising my 3 boys is that kids need a sense of community, right? So you were probably bringing this sense of community to these kids that probably felt all alone because their parents are working and they were left home alone.
Yes, a group, a community, a family that they didn't have it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's amazing. How do people, or how does the Hispanic community find you, or do you do more outreach and try to find some of the kids that are in need?
Okay. For the group, we have twice a month. The leaders, they went to different churches, and they know, and they invited some teenagers and parents. When they approached them or when they saw some problems, they invited them to come here.
Okay. And I know how you heard about Sisters Rising Worldwide. Obviously, your roommate, my cousin, Sister Patty. Yes. And we were able to help you fund the program. What impact do you think you have able to have by, us helping you fund that program? Like, how many kids do you think that you have helped, or what were some kind of exciting stories of what came out of your program?
Okay. In the group who met twice a month, there were stories of teenagers who were involved in drugs, stories of 12, 14 years old teenagers, girls who escaped during the night, and then things like that. Very, very dangerous. And then we support them, we care for them. And we really didn't spend money on that, because the community led us to use one of the little houses here at the convent. And then we met there. The money, the $5,000, which we received from the sisters, it was for two retreats. This is a group we met twice a month. And there's another group for the 110 teenagers who came to the retreat last November.
Wow.
And we have to invite it in different churches. And it was very interesting because in St. Louis, none of the churches did anything for the teenagers.
Oh.
They did something for young adults. When they saw that we had it was beautiful because 110, but and I invited a group of some young adults to come. I invited 2 of the young adults to share their experiences being in the gangs and to talk with teenagers. It was very amazing because teenagers, they said, oh, it's like, oh my goodness, I know what is that. And then, yes, it was very nice. And the other churches, they started preparing retreats for teenagers. Consequently, our second retreat, we didn't have the 110. We have only 42.
Okay.
But it was very nice because the 42, there were leaders. The 42, it was amazing to see them, how they work, how they ask questions, especially, your cousin, Sister Patty, she's into the climate change and the Laudato Si. Right. The teenagers and parents, they study, reflect, and do things, some activities for the according to the Laudato Si. And you see the teenagers after we watch some videos. Mother, you are buying a lot of clothes. You don't use it, and that is not good for the climate. Oh, Francis says da 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 da, and I said, oh, that's good.
Right.
It was good.
That's so fun.
Yes, because it's amazing how the teenagers, when they found a space or a place safe for them, they changed their behaviors.
That's so exciting. It's an amazing program. I was super excited to hear and learn a lot about it. I just want to thank you too, because, being on the Peace Room and kind of we're building this community of nuns around the world and hearing all their great stories and then trying to share them with the world. So we just really appreciate you joining us on this mission. What about the Peace Room? Like, what do you like about this technology platform that we have offered the nuns, across the world?
Oh, the Sister Raising the Worldwide?
Yeah. Well, no, the actual Peace Room. So the actual technology platform where you enter, I know my cousin helped you with this, but you enter the information of the program and then you can put in a funding campaign and learn what the other sisters are doing around the world.
Okay. For me, little things change the world.
Right.
And then with faith, this group, this organization is teaching us and helping us to change this world.
Right.
And it's so beautiful to see how this organization are helping not only people here in the United States. I heard about Peru, Africa, different places, and India. And I think they're real. They're moving us. They are moving us to live more the Christian values, to take care of this beautiful world, this beautiful tierra that God make for us.
Right.
And then I think this organization is helping us to awakening. Together we can do something, and we're not alone. And I'm very glad to participate in this organization. And I'm very glad because we receive money. Yeah. $5,000 to prepare these 2 retreats. With these $5,000, we couldn't do anything.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It was amazing.
Oh, good. Well, I really appreciate your time. It was great hearing from you and hearing your stories. Like I said, I love the whole thing about helping kids. I think that, raising 3 boys on my own, well, not on my own, but I mean, 3 boys. And, it's hard. They could get in the wrong crowd easily. And then especially if there's no parents at home, right, it makes them more vulnerable. And, we just got to protect all the children out there. So I think what you're doing is just awesome. And I'm super excited and I'm glad that we could be a part of it.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate your help too.
Oh, anytime.
Yes, thank you so much. And God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a great evening.
Same to you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.